Britain's governing Conservative Party is dramatically losing seats in local council elections, with the former political outsider, the Eurosceptic UK Independence Party, making impressive gains. Early results show UKIP has so far grabbed 26% of the vote, while coming second in the by-election in South Shields, pushing the Tories into third place.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Commission have recently replied to my written question confirming that Commissioners Almunia and Kroes attended the Bilderberg meeting in St Moritz in June. The Commission cannot tell me details of what was discussed, but assure me that the Bilderberg meetings do not take decisions. If Bilderberg meetings are just talking shops, why do the most important and powerful figures from around the world, including George Osborne, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, bother to attend? And what other summit of world leaders in politics, finance and business would go completely unreported in the mainstream media, such as the BBC? It is impossible not to reach the conclusion that the non-reporting of these events is anything other than a conspiracy between the organisers and the media. It merely confirms the belief of many that the hidden agenda and purpose of the Bilderberg Group is to bring about undemocratic world government. It is a disgrace that the European Commission is colluding in that.
So it was all the more incredible that after months of trying, I was suddenly invited to meet the Secretary General of the Bilderberg Group. But you have done very well in keeping Bilderberg out of the public consciousness. There's no denying that. And that's what you wanted to do, is keep it out of the public consciousness.
I don't think it's true to say that we want to keep it out. We've never wanted to get it in. We don't encourage people to mention it in the mainstream press because we don't encourage, idle speculation about what we do. We forbid individual attendees to give press meetings at our conferences. And we do that not because we're secrecy mad, but because we want to control the politicians who come.
So remember what David Rockefeller said, and he laid it out so we know what the truth is. He admitted that it would have been impossible for us to develop our plan if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during the many years of Bilderberg. But now the world is more sophisticated and prepared to march toward a world government. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national auto-determination practiced in past centuries. And he thanked in that 1991 Bilderberg meeting in Baden-Baden, Germany, when he said this, he thanked the editors and top brass of the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time Magazine, and other great publications, as he put it, whose directors have attended our Bilderberg meetings and respected their promises of discretion for 4 decades at that point in time. So Mr. Rockefeller said it himself, that the media, the big media, attend but don't report a word of it, and this is about developing a world government, in his own words.
It's a private organisation, and we live in an age which can't distinguish privacy from secrecy. And privacy is then seen as secrecy, and secrecy is sinister by definition. An appropriate venue is a comfortable, but not necessarily luxurious, hotel which is remote and peaceful, but not too far from a major airport. And there aren't many of those. We invite people to come to the meeting and we organise the panels, and somebody orders the wine and food.
So, are you like a headhunter? Because a lot of people who've been to Bilderberg have gone on to be President or Prime Minister.
Tony Blair came the year I first went, 93, that's right, and Bill Clinton a couple of years before he became President. We're looking for people who are thoughtful, either are or are going to be influential. I don't think we're as good at talent spotting as you suggest, actually. Conspiracy
theorists, of course, say that it's not about talent spotting, it's about bringing these people in and then making them the next President or Prime Minister.
One serious question. You denied being a member of the Bilderberg Group. The Guardian reported that you came there in 1993. What do you say to those people who have questions about the Bilderberg Group?
About the Bilderberg Group? Yeah, it's a really useful group, actually. I remember going there back to that in 1993, and it's a great way, too, for people from different parts of the world to get together. So it's been good.
Do you think it's a conflict of interest? I mean, the heads of media corporations administration's banking meeting with
Yeah.
Caesar without the media even mentioning it?
I don't know. It may have changed a bit since my day.
Conspiracy theorists say that the ultimate Bilderberg agenda is a one-world government.
I think that's exaggerated, but not totally unfair, in the sense that those of us in Bilderberg really felt that we couldn't go on forever fighting one another for nothing and killing people and rendering millions homeless. And to the extent that we could have a single community throughout the world would be a good thing.
Does it help a career to go to a Bilderberg meeting?
No, I don't think going helped your career. I think, in a way, when you got a job, you had more influence in the global field.
Isn't that in some way a conspiracy?
Oh, come off it, dear boy.
As always in conferences of this kind, many of the most important interactions take place privately, over the breakfast table.
Hearing the Bilderbergers talk made me wonder whether they were a conspiracy and they just didn't realise that they were.
Kde se skutečně rozhoduje o dění v Evropě? Jaký máte názor na skupiny Bilderberg či trilaterální komisi? Proč jednání předních politiků a bankéřů v rámci platformy Bilderberg není pro korporátní média, včetně České televize, zajímavé a neinformuje?
Víte, Bilderbergová skupina existuje, má schůzky, ano, jsou tam lidé, kteří nechtějí evropskou vládu, chtějí globální vládu. To všechno vím, ale nicméně nepotřebujeme hledat žádné konspirační teorie spiknutí, abychom vysvětlili, k čemu dochází. Celé je to velice tajné, ty diskuse. Myslím si, za posledních několik let se Bilderbergové skupině dostalo většího pokrytí. A když byl dosazen Van Rompuy, tak si myslím, že v médiích se hodně diskutovalo o tom, zdali se to diskutovalo na Bilderbergové skupině.
Well, the specific point with American delegations to hear attendees is that they break a law known as the Logan Act. The Logan Act prevents private U.S. citizens and officials from making policy decisions in secret with foreign government officials. They knowingly and deliberately break. It's not just the fact that they're meeting in secret and people don't like secret government. We don't like our school boards to meet in secret. We don't like our city councils to meet in secret. Why should the most powerful of our officials and their confreres meet in secret? The Bilderberg Group is a planning commission. They make general plans and they set general things in motion that then the elected officials will implement. They kind of call the big shots or make the big contacts. And then the specific dials are tuned in later to get it exactly where they want it. They're a planning commission.
If you're looking to the mainstream media to give you information, you're getting what these secret societies like the Bilderberg and the Trilateral and the Council on Foreign Relations want you to know, so that you support them and you don't fight against it. You know, you just go along with the flow.
The major stations on approximately 6 to 9 different major corporations around the world leads to the success of the secrecy and corruption that we see in the world. And so the Bilderberg group was founded on that premise, a combination of secrecy plus corruption plus gaining control of governmental policies around the world so they could enhance their wealth.
They're sitting there in their secret meetings, and you have a lot of heads from print and television, mainstream media. If you watch closely, like I said, between about 5 or 6 months after the Bilderberg meetings, you'll start to see their agendas coming out, which way they want to sway the audience and gain support, because media is very influential. A lot of people have been programmed to think that what they're told from this idiot box is what's actually going on.
Sometimes it leaks out. For example, in June 2002, the American Free Press reported from a leak from a person who had attended the meeting then that the group had decided to postpone the Iraq War until March 2003. Well, guess what? We had a war in March 2003. Face for this group was Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands. He's from Germany with Nazi connections, but married into the Dutch royal family. They actually had to cancel one of their meetings one year because he was in so many legal problems about the exposure of the bribes he was taking from Lockheed in making sure that Lockheed sold some of their planes to the Dutch.
The Nazi background of Prince Bernhard did not stop the Bilderberg Group from being supported by Social Democrats, or by the Rothschild Bank, or the Rockefellers, both of Jewish origin. Other early sponsors included the Wallenbergs, owners of Electrolux and Ericsson in Sweden. All of them still actively participate in the annual general meetings of the group.
Burgers want. What is it their sister trilateralists want and other secret societies? All they want is free trade, NAFTA, CAFTA, World Trade Organization, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, in essence, a world government.
Could their objective be world domination?
The war not only is it without constitutional declaration, but we go in inevitably under the UN. I mean, even in this war, we went in to enforce UN resolution. So I would say the proper position that we should have for the UN is that there's no need to be in the UN. Why don't we just get out? And if we had a sovereign nation that protected liberty here at home, and yet traded with people and traveled and were friends with everybody, we still would not need the UN, the IMF, the World Bank, the WTO, the CAFTA, or NAFTA, or the New World Order at all.
Today they're saying that we don't need nations anymore. We need to expand so that the nations have very small power and very small roles in the world, and that the world needs to be run by a small elite group of wealthy business interests, bankers, and so-called intellectuals. They believe in perpetual imbalance. They want to have artificially created crises around the world that will further increase their wealth. They want centralized control of foreign and domestic policies. They want the United Nations to become the world government. They want United Nations taxes. They want expanded trading blocs such as NAFTA and the European Union to reduce the importance of individual countries and of individuals to have control over their destinies.
And what do you think about Czech Republic leaving the EU? Do you think it's a good step forward?
I think it's the only sensible step, and of course the same applies for the United Kingdom. Ever since we've been involved with the European project, the country has slowly decayed from the inside. Just because we have nation states in Europe does not mean that we can't work together and be at peace together. And I think that one of the biggest lies that people are told at the moment is that the European Union has brought peace to Europe. That is an absolute lie, because the European Union has brought nothing but trouble and strife, and of course we're now seeing nation states absolutely destroyed socially and economically through being involved not only with Europe but with the Euro. So I think the Czech Republic needs to be strong and to make the decision, and that decision is to leave. Iceland has already proved on the world stage that when a small country decides that the country is going to work for itself, anything is possible. So Iceland has simply refused to give in to the lie of the international monetary system and these artificial national debts. And what is happening in Iceland, has the country collapsed? No, it's going along very nicely and getting stronger. And I think the Czech Republic can do the same.
Thank you.